Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hey, everybody.
And the Lord of I'm Not a Negative Person, SDA.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, my God.
And I remain the Lord of Person who insults SDA far too often, Scribe Light.
Sometimes I wish you guys could hear the chat before we start, because...
Man, if we could record that stuff and put it out as like outtakes or something, man.
Oh, man.
Imagine the traffic those would get.
You know what I'm going to start putting on OBS while we do that so I can just record it.
Jesus. Yeah. Hopefully you'll edit them down to the relevant points.
Oh, yeah.
So how are you two guys this evening?
I was good.
Oh, you were good?
Stop it.
Yeah, shush.
Stop it.
You're fine.
I'm good. I'm well, thank you.
Okay.
That's what we're
and hello,
with.
chat. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Before we start, oh yeah, SDA is going to be on Biggest Mikey's show tomorrow.
What time is that?
I think we record it, so I'm going to be recording it at a certain time, but...
And I'll be sure to bring this up again during YouTube time, but I figured 2 plugs are better than 1, so there you go. Okay, well, shall we go to the schnews, or is there anything else we want to cover ahead of time?
Dude. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones.
Oh, yes.
Movies.
Yes.
Like button.
Like button. Yes, like button.
$ for throwing money at Scribe.
And Irate Bear is in the chat.
Yes, yes. He's hanging out.
We have a minor celebrity, and I underscore the word minor. Because he's young. Far too young. Yeah, he's far too young.
He looks old as fuck, but he's young.
Yeah, it's true. He's got that. It's like that. That sort of British accent adds about 10 years to your persona.
It makes people sound older. I'm not going to lie, but it also makes them sound wiser. So it's a trade-off.
Yeah, and gosh, is that a pitfall of deceptiveness?
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah. But I'm not getting into that because I've been talking about Brits for the last few nights, and I'm not doing it.
That is true, and we'll be talking more about. Well, I guess not Brits. It'll be Germans tonight.
Yes.
In some fashion or another. But we'll get to that at YouTube time. But until then, how is the white people tonight? Are you all white people? White people.
I'm white people.
White people.
White people.
Let's talk about some other white people. Specifically Koreans. They're kind of white people.
Well, Asians are all white now.
No, that's true. So I was going to talk about Trump stuff, but there's really nothing to talk about because they had a vote, and they voted to start thinking about voting, is basically what happened. And it came down to a tiebreaker. The vice president had to break a tie in order to consider taking the conversation about repealing Obamacare forward. So it's not that anything happened per se. They just agreed to start talking about it.
Yes. Which is fucking stupid because what they're talking about is repealing it.
Yes.
If you're going to repeal it, it's just taking it away.
Yes.
There's not much really to discuss there. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. And I'm not going to, well, I guess I'll leave it to the chat. I'm going to start with the story on North Korea, but there is a story that I saw today that I thought, I'm reading this headline, and am I really reading CNN? And I remembered, oh yeah, that's right. CNN is basically TMZ/Gawker now. So this headline makes sense. So chat, you tell me, do you want me to read off? And this is an actual headline on CNN's front page. The 29 most cringeworthy lines from Donald Trump's hyper-political speech to the Boy Scouts.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Yeah, it just sounded like something you'd see on BuzzFeed.
Yep, yes it does.
But while I wait for chat to tell me whether or not I should read those, let's talk about North Korea because they've made more threats. They're not backing down, of course.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that.
I'm surprised.
North Korea promises nuclear strike on U.S. if regime is threatened. I don't think this is new news. They've said this several times before, except that now they have intercontinental ballistic missiles. And as clunky as those things are, yeah.
The reason they need those is because they're under constant threat. Isn't that the bullshit line they're always spewing?
If they're not under threat, the war must be continuous.
Fuck's sake. Okay.
North Korea threatened a nuclear strike on, quote, the heart of the U.S. if it attempts to remove Kim Jong-un as supreme leader, Pyongyang's state-run Korean Central News Agency reported Tuesday. The threat was in response to comments from CIA Director Mike Pompeo, who said last week that the Trump administration needed to find a way to separate Kim from his growing nuclear stockpile. Oh, I hadn't heard that. Quote, as for the regime, I am hopeful we will find a way to separate that regime from this system, Pompeo said. The North Korean people, I'm sure, are lovely people and would love to see him go. Okay.
What do you think would happen to North Korea if he was gone? Because it's like a religion for them. The whole Kim family is like.
Okay, so I think what would happen is the same thing that happened when Saddam fell out of power. Is you're going to have factionalization. You're going to have a whole bunch of people fighting for the crown, because unless Kim Jong-un leaves a very clear line of succession for himself, and I don't think any of his children are of any age to take over. You're going to have like his next best general or something, I guess. And then, of course, that guy's never going to want to relinquish power, and then it's just going to become chaos. In a country that has been under the rule of a single individual for that long, I don't know they can function without one. So, yeah, either one will take over, or there will be a bunch of chaos until one does take over, and then we'll be right back at square one, maybe with a slightly more sane person. But given what you're probably going to have to do to become top of the hill on that one, you're not going to have a sane person there.
Slightly more sane is a really low bar.
It's true. It's true. At the same time, the fact that our CIA director is saying those loaded words doesn't help anything at all. Not that there's anything to help it at all, but I mean, that's like encouraging regime change.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as like we were trying to encourage the Kurds to overthrow Saddam back in the first Gulf War. And then when they tried to do that, we didn't help them.
Yeah, we backed right the fuck off.
Yeah. So if somebody in North Korea did decide to try an uprising, there's absolutely no guarantee, and likely not at all, that there'd be any support from the outside on it.
Right. China might help, depending on who it was.
Yeah, depending on who it was. Let's see. Have people said whether they want me to read off the 29?
It was kind of hit and miss there. I suggested maybe reading highlights.
Okay. Well, yeah, there's not much more to the North Korea story. It's just that, you know, more saber rattling, and they show some graphics of how in a perfect world, how an ICBM from North Korea could hit the U.S. And right now, the best they could probably do is hit Alaska.
But that's still hitting the mainland.
Yeah.
Well, connected to Canada, but you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's basically just Canada's appendix. Okay. So let's see. What did the cringy stuff did Trump say today? Oh, and by the way, these are listed as per our friend editor-at-large Chris Cillizza's opinion, because he's the potentate over at CNN now, when he's not like just giving over Washington Post articles. Okay, so number one, and these are all quotes. Quote, boy, you have a lot of people here. The press will say it's about 200 people. It looks like about 45,000 people. You set a record today. You set a record.
Okay, it does kind of come off like he might have small penis issues. I'm going to throw that out there.
Well, let's see.
Size really matters to this dude.
Well, but so somehow that's supposed to be cringy, but the information on this quote is from CNN. The Charleston Gazette estimated 40,000 people in the crowd.
Damn.
Which is a lot. Not sure there is a record for attendance at a Boy Scout jamboree. Also worth noting from the Gazette, press staff handling the event did not allow local media to bring film equipment to the amphitheater. So either the Charleston Gazette is lying, or Trump is lying, or I don't see how that's cringy.
Well, I think it's him bringing it up that, you know, the news was going to lie about him.
Oh, well.
Remember the whole shit with the inauguration?
Okay, quote, and this is number 2, quote, I said, who the hell wants to speak about politics when I'm in front of the Boy Scouts, right?
Okay.
Number 3, today I said we ought to change it from the word swamp to the word cesspool, or perhaps to the word sewer, in relation to Washington, D.C.
This is the cringiest stuff.
This is from, I don't know if he's going in reverse order. I'll go down to the last couple and see if, because he had 29.
Right.
Okay, I'll do the last 2. So 28, quote, I promise you that you will live Scouting's adventure every single day of your life, and you will win, 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 and help people in doing so.
That fucker.
Okay, and the last one, I've known so many great people. Okay, I read the first 3. I read the last 2. There's nothing.
What am I missing here?
I don't know. I mean, if he was saying stuff like, "Hey kids, do you like movies about gladiators?" I mean, if he said something like that, I could say, "Oh, that's pretty cringy."
Yes.
But I mean, let me just pick one in the middle here. The quote is, quote, we're doing a lot with energy, unquote. And then Chris Cillizza says, this was part of Trump's introduction of Boy Scout and Energy Secretary Rick Perry, who was in attendance. Apparently, we are, quote, doing a lot, unquote, with energy. That's all he has to say about that. What the fuck is this?
This is moronic. Yeah, we can skip this.
Yeah, forget this.
Jesus Christ.
I knew it would be bad, but I didn't know it'd be like you're literally making nothing out of nothing.
Uh-huh.
And you're getting paid for it. I could do this. I could do this 10 times better. I could at least make it funny. You're not even making it funny.
Well, I saw people bitching about him giving a political speech to Boy Scouts. But if this is the worst they got from it, geez, go fuck yourselves.
Thank you, Joel McLaughlin. Supposedly hell is a curse word. Yeah, I guess that might be a little off given you're talking about, the clean-cut Boy Scouts and everything else, but that doesn't strike me as cringy. I don't know.
Roaming Millennial put out a tweet that showed some left-wing memes, and she was like, do we need to set up a leftist meme workshop? Because they can never quite meme correctly. And she's so right. Every time you see a meme from a left-wing organization, you're just like, yeah. It's like a bad imitation of a meme. And I don't know how you manage to fail at memeing, but
you know what a reversal this is, just on the subject of humor for a second. I remember back during the Bush administration, Fox tried to make a conservative version or a right-wing version of The Daily Show.
Oh, yeah.
And it lasted I think a pilot episode or something, and it just was so bad because, there was so much more humor on the left. And they weren't wrong. I mean, there was a lot to be had on the left because a lot to satire, a lot to make fun of. How the worm has turned, it's so weird. I don't know.
Well, it's very much the same thing that happened with the Rush Limbaugh show when it was on TV. The right wing at the time took themselves way too seriously, and there's still plenty to joke about on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And they just took themselves way too fucking seriously, and that's how the left is now. It's like they wouldn't know a joke if it smacked them in the ass.
Anyway,
we'll report you for it.
Let's see. And then the story that actually inspired the title of tonight's stream and relates tangentially to a video I'm thinking about doing, but we'll talk about that at YouTube time. Justice Department rules intensify crackdown on sanctuary cities.
Good.
The Justice Department escalated its promised crackdown on so-called sanctuary cities Tuesday, saying it will no longer award coveted grant money to cities unless they give federal immigration authorities access to jails and provide advance notice when someone in the country illegally is about to be released. Under old rules, cities seeking grant money needed only to show they were not preventing local law enforcement from communicating with federal authorities about the immigration status of people they had detained. The announcement came as questions swirled about Attorney General Jeff Sessions' future as the nation's top law enforcement officer following days of blistering criticism from Donald Trump over his performance. Sessions and Trump had bonded during the campaign, largely over their hardline views on illegal immigration. And Trump's campaign promises included slashing federal grants for cities that refused to comply with federal efforts to detain and deport those living in the country illegally. The conditions apply to one of the Justice Department's most popular grant programs, which provides police departments money to buy everything from bulletproof vests to body cameras. The requirements will apply to cities seeking grants starting in September. Let's see. A judge in April blocked Trump's executive order aimed at withholding funding from sanctuary cities, saying the president could not set new conditions on spending approved by Congress. But the Justice Department said it still could condition some of its grants to force cities to cooperate with immigration authorities. And then lastly, the Supreme Court has held that there must be a reasonable relationship between the grant condition and the purpose of the money being withheld, said Mary Phan, a University of Washington law professor. The grant program in question is the main source of federal criminal justice funding to the states and local jurisdictions. Any states or cities that challenge the new requirements are likely to argue that enforcement of immigration laws, which generally fall under civil, not criminal statutes, is not reasonably related to criminal justice funding. So there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sanguine. To give you time to work on it. Iron Age spy. I was talking about this before the stream started. I said, you know, Sanguine's going to come at me with like Elizabethan romance murder mystery or something. He's going to pick 3 words. You know, he's going to pick an era and then like a genre and then just put it together.
If you give him like $15, he'll do that exact ad.
Oh God!
Elizabethan era romance murder mystery. If you want it, $15, come and get it.
Iron Age spy movie.
You can do that, okay?
I know. No, I can do it. It's not a matter of that. It's just trying to come up with a catchy name. It's all about the title, because after Moon Poon, I really have set the bar pretty high for myself.
You did. Moon Poon was excellent.
Yeah, Moon Poon was like, you know, my masterpiece. It's pretty hard to like beat that, I suppose. Hard to beat a Moon Poon. But anyway, yeah, sanctuary cities, and we were just we were talking the other night about the truck down in Texas with all the people inside of it that were trying to be brought over the border illegally. And the lieutenant governor of Texas, I forgot to talk about this story the other day. Lieutenant governor of Texas specifically cited sanctuary cities as a reason why things like this happen. And I remember that I said that very thing the stream before that. And I honestly think it's true. If you give people the idea that there are oases in the desert, so to speak, and all they have to do is get into them and they're safe, this, you know, people are going to go through desperate measures to do that.
I just think, yeah, it's time to cut off funding to these fuckers. And for anybody who thinks the federal government can't do that, they can put limits on spending. They absolutely can.
Well, did we hear more about that truck?
Well, the driver has been charged with murder, I think, and I think they're going to seek the death penalty. One second, let me. I forgot to look that up because I didn't know if anything. I heard stuff on the radio this morning, but I didn't know if it was anything brand new.
Lucky Seven says to the Moon Poon and beyond.
Yes. Let's
we need
see.
a meme.
The latest I've got is from Reuters. Survivors of Texas truck where 10 immigrants died seek to trade testimony for visas.
Oh, for fuck's sake. No.
You have got to be... Oh, my God. Austin, Texas.
Just said the exact same things.
Okay. Some of the illegal immigrants who survived a deadly human smuggling journey into Texas are seeking visas to stay in the United States in exchange for testimony against those responsible for an operation that killed 10 people.
Fuck you, no.
You would trade on the tragedy of dead people to get a visa when you were trying to get in here illegally in the first place. And if you had not been caught, oh, for God's sakes. Going on. There is a precedent for such visas, and it could help U.S. authorities bring more people to justice, experts say. So far, only one person has been charged, the driver of the truck, who said he was unaware of the human cargo aboard until he took a rest stop in San Antonio. He could face the death penalty if convicted. The case could also provide a test for the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump, which has promised to crack down on illegal immigration and the criminal syndicates responsible for human trafficking. Sylvia Mintz, an attorney representing the Guatemalan consulate in Houston, said she has contacted the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to see if it would consider granting U visas available to victims of crimes such as human trafficking who have pertinent information to provide law enforcement. Yeah, but they're not victims because they were forced. They weren't captured somewhere and brought into white slavery or something. They got into the truck.
I want you to think about this using the reasoning you were using just a moment ago.
Okay.
If you can get a visa by bringing in a truckload of dead people, why wouldn't you just do that? It'd be a lot easier. Just kill a couple people, throw them in your car, bring them over. Oh, I can tell you who arranged
I'm a witness to a crime. I'm a witness to a crime. Oh, for God's sakes. Thank you, Jonathan Malone. First round complete. All three have been paid equally. I choose Absinthe. Oh, God. And I often go by the name Gray if it helps craft an ad better than my real name, or do whatever works best for you, Scribe. I've had Absinthe before. Usually it's pretty iffy, but there's this, I think it's just called the Absinthe Bar. If you go down to New Orleans, just down the street from St. Louis Cathedral, there's a little bar, outdoor bar thing called the Absinthe Bar. I think it's called that. I don't know if you're going to get the same lady I did behind the bar, but she cooked up the smoothest absinthe drink I have ever had. It was so good. And usually I don't like absinthe because I'm not a big black licorice fan. It tastes like black licorice. But the way that she mixed everything together is so good. So very good. Okay, Jonathan Malone or Gray. I will cook that up for you shortly. No problem at all. Gray absinthe. Okay. But yeah, suddenly I think of Daddy 05. How can you profit off of the misery of others for your own benefit?
Well, they're illegals. They're very oppressed.
Yeah, so that's the latest on that. Why am I not surprised?
Because you've been paying attention to the news for the last 4 or 5 months.
I tell you what. So I don't really have potpourri tonight. I couldn't find any potpourri stories per se, but I do have a story that, while infuriating, is not completely tragic, and I think this will be underlined as our worst person in the world for the day.
Not completely tragic.
Not completely tragic. It sounds bad. It has a not horrific ending. So I'll just predicate that so you don't get too freaked out, because this will hit you pretty hard, I think. Police. Teen father left newborn in California parking lot.
What a dick.
A newborn was in critical but stable condition Tuesday after his teenage father abandoned him in a Northern California strip mall parking lot. The father, Daniel Mitchell, 18, drove into the lot in Suisun City on Monday, removed a car seat holding the 16-day-old boy, put it on the ground, and left it, police said, after viewing surveillance video and interviewing witnesses.
Oh.
2 employees from a barbershop noticed the child's car seat sitting unattended, and on closer inspection, they found a baby in it and called police. Police were able to get the vehicle's license plate from surveillance video and identify Mitchell. He was involved in a hit-and-run crash in nearby Fairland and hospitalized later Monday in nearby Fairfield, and police found him there and confirmed he was the father. Police arrested Mitchell on suspicion of child endangerment, child abandonment, committing a felony while free on bail, and misdemeanor possession of suspected cocaine. The baby was airlifted to a children's hospital and was in critical but stable condition. Police said they have found and interviewed the boy's mother, but she is not considered a suspect. So, good. I'll take that as a happy-ish ending.
Yeah, I'm glad the baby's okay, but he needs to be put in a truck in Walmart down in Texas.
That's sort of like Cinema Sins, what we sentence him to. Sentence, truck in Texas.
Yes. Fuck.
Yeah. And
if you can't handle that responsibility, fine. There are ways to give up the responsibility without putting that baby in danger, you dick.
Yeah. If you're not going to wear a condom, think adoption. At least. I'm curious if the mother was even aware of what was going on.
Yeah.
But that aside, let's see. What else is going on? Yeah, so I don't have any potpourri. I didn't really find anything that stuck out to me otherwise, so I suppose we can go to MSS News.
MSS News. Guys, if there's a story you would like us to take a look at, and if we get a chance to take a look at it, you can hit us up on hashtag MSS News. Don't get offended if we don't get to them. Sometimes we get wordy in our responses.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, the first one is a winner. This is from Dragonic the 13th.
I just saw that.
Or Dragonic623 on Twitter. The headline says it all. And it's not from Florida, amazingly enough. Video. There's video of this. Naked man charges female Chicago Police Department officer after reportedly cutting off penis.
I was just about to say he has no penis. He's all bloody.
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick. Ah, got that?
Ghostbusters reference, y'all.
Okay, Chicago, Illinois. Video has surfaced online, which shows a man who's presumably high on synthetic drugs. Aren't all drugs relatively synthetic? I mean, they're man-made, right? Anyway.
Well, these are don't use any like a synthetic opiate doesn't actually use opiate.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's true. Okay. Oh, by the way,
if you guys
Flair
want to watch
Fritz.
the video real quick. Sorry. Chat. The video's down bottom of the story. Check it out. It's fucking horrible.
Flair, hold on. Flair Fritz, thank you very much. 1 Ton hammers ass as the starring lead in a Shakespearean steampunk rom-com murder mystery set in the past. God damn it.
This is what you get for letting them put their own hands.
I am gonna have to put a prohibition on these complicated things. It was a product, guys. A product, like an item.
Not
These
anymore.
things are going to take me forever. All these movie ones I'm going to have to put out tomorrow. There's just no way. Jonathan Malone, thank you very much again. Round 2 fight. I'm going to start this round now, but it will be a bit more drawn out. Really make the ad kick ass, Scribe. Oh, well, now I have to. I have to spend time on yours. The movie ones, guys, I will do them. I'll get to them. I just probably won't get to them tonight because there's only so much time left in the night to do these kind of things. Please, I will do them if you pay for them, but please, I encourage you for something simple so I can get it done in the stream that you paid for. Okay? Just ask. Okay, I gotta copy and paste all that.
You do what you want to do.
Oh Lordy, I gotta copy and paste all that text because that's a lot to remember now.
So anyway, the story we were on is about a guy who cut off his own dick and then charged at female police officers in Chicago. I put the link in the chat there if you guys want to check it out. It's pretty horrific, and there's blood stains all over the cement, and yeah.
Yeah, there's not much to the story other than that. Let's see. I'll get to the little bits that are left. During the incident, the witness was yelling at police, "Oh my God, bro, shoot his ass, shoot that motherfucker. This is a time when you shoot people." Oh shit.
Oh my God.
Instead, the officers calmly stood around while an officer showed up with a transport van. When the man charged that officer, he calmly deployed his taser, taking the man down. Just another day in Chicago. Chicago PD has refused to comment on if the man had actually cut off his own penis, presumably because it's sensitive medical information.
Well, in the video, you can't actually tell that he cut off his penis. You just don't see a penis, and you get a pretty good crotch shot of him.
Zenith, thank you very much.
Did we even have to censor that? Because, like, there's no dick, I guess.
No, it's not censored that I can see.
Yeah. Really quick, Zenith, thank you very much. You want back to basic, Scribe? You got it. Dick Bacon. Thank you, Zenith. Thank you.
Dick Bacon.
Dick Bacon. All right.
Oh my God, there's no dick.
There's no dick there, no.
Oh my goodness. Like,
oh my God, there's no dick.
There's just no penis on this guy. Sorry. You get like a really good crotch shot, and there's just like fuzz and no dick. So either he's Donald Trump or he cut off his dick.
It looks like he cut off his dick because there's blood like all over his legs.
I know. Like,
Lady Monkey said free bleeding.
What?
Oh God. That's
am Is he roboting or am I?
He's roboting.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, monkey's roboting.
Am I better?
No, it's not. Well, I just want to make sure.
Hello?
You sound fine now, I guess.
I
What
said
did
Lady
Lady
Monkey
Monkey
just
say?
said free bleeding.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, God.
no.
I think it's that website. Okay, I won't open that one. Do, 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 do. Okay, am I better now? Is this good?
Yes.
Okay.
I already have an ad for Zenith.
Cool, go ahead.
Hey, people, this is what happens if you give me something simple and also on point. Do you have a hankering for meat? Then try Zenith's Chicago brand Dick Bacon. Hand smoked by the local police department, Zenith's Dick Bacon contains all the nutrients a man needs to grow as big as he's able. Zenith's Dick Bacon.
So
Too
on
soon.
one website,
Too
it
soon.
says you can, I think it's this website. It says you can see the video below, warning uncensored nudity with a question mark. Because there's like, it's uncensored nudity, but also there's no penis. So it's like, doesn't matter.
Can you guys do MSS News for a bit while I work on stuffs?
Sure. Of course we can.
You can do that, right?
Yes. This one comes from staff reporter Colleen Bernier. Ow, stop pinching my nipples, you fucker.
Colleen Bernier is pinching your nipples?
Thank you, Lady Monkey. I appreciate it.
You're a horrible friend.
Me? You were
yes,
a horrible friend first.
I was not.
You know what you did.
Marijuana business offers weed for Weeds on Cleanup Day. A medical marijuana business in Maine is offering weed for weeds in a program to encourage Gardner residents to clean up their city. MCSH TV reports that Dennis Meehan, owner of Summit Medical Marijuana, offered residents who collected trash Sunday free marijuana. The business says anyone who is over 21 was offered free marijuana if they presented a bag of trash that was collected in town. I got to say, that's probably one of the best incentives I've seen in something like that. Gifting marijuana is legal in Maine, so you can do that.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
But how do you get away with that if it's medical marijuana?
I don't. So, like, can I gift you some Xanax?
No, I think it's just weed that you can gift.
That's okay. Why do they have that law?
I don't know.
What?
You can only have marijuana if you get a, medical reason for it, but then you can give it to all your friends. This is from around your way. Also from Colleen Bernier. Hartford Police.
Oh, sorry, hold on a second. Thank you, Snubber13. Does this mean they post warnings for naked Ken dolls?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably.
That's a good one.
This is from the Hartford Police. Men get cash for drugs at police station.
Connecticut.
What?
I'm not in Connecticut.
Hartford's in Connecticut?
I'm not there, though.
You're from there. That's fine.
It's not.
It's not? Ew.
I'm not from there.
Uh-huh.
Go sit in the corner.
I already am.
Back to our story.
Yeah.
The pair that wanted to buy cocaine Sunday made two mistakes, police said. One was asking an off-duty cop for the drug. The other was getting cash for the purchase from an ATM inside the Hartford Police Department.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, there's not a whole lot more to that story. They just talk about how they got arrested. That's dumb. What's wrong with you Connecticut people? SDA.
I'm not from Connecticut. There's a whole T-shirt about it.
It's exactly what somebody from Connecticut would say.
I have a T-shirt, by the way, if you want to like proclaim that you're not from Connecticut. I've got a store and a T-shirt, and you can say I'm not from Connecticut with it.
Okay, and we have a special request here.
We do.
This is from Shady Grin. He asked that I post this in the chat tonight to make up for what he saddled us with last night. If you don't remember, Shady's the one who gave us the girl who's trans black now, which that woman was ugly as fuck. So he sent that to make up for it. Guys, I encourage you to watch. It's riveting. Let's see what else we have here. Ooh. Gibbon escapes enclosure at Johannesburg Zoo. And they have it on camera. This little fucking monkey is just going. But we're going to skip that one and go to what else we have here. Oh, this comes from Stargazer. Felon named Felony charged with new felonies.
Oh, Lord. Really?
What's in a name? In the case of an Oregon man, a lot.
Oh, his name, like his name, like hi, Felony.
His name is actually Felony, spelled with 2 L's.
Oh, okay.
The 22-year-old named Felony Hudson is accused of felony kidnapping, felony eluding, felony possession of a stolen vehicle, and several misdemeanors after police pursued him across state lines.
You know how like a word starts to sound like not a word anymore?
Yeah, because you say it too many times.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's happening in my head with felony.
Why did he do this? Let's see. Officers received a report Tuesday evening of a woman being assaulted inside a moving vehicle, according to Vancouver police spokesperson, Kim Kapp, reports WCMH-TV Columbus. The driver, later identified as Hudson, was driving erratically and ran a red light. The vehicle had been reported stolen out of Portland about a week ago. After a chase that spanned several cities, his vehicle was eventually hit with a set of spike strips, causing the tire to deflate and leading to the end of the chase. I miss when I could watch police chases on TV all the time. Nothing else much into it. The woman inside the car was his ex-girlfriend. He was kidnapping her. Don't date somebody named Felony. I feel like that's pretty... Ooh. This comes from Jody Vol. Waiting for it to load here. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We forgive you.
No. Thank you. Nevada brothel tries to lure women customers. At least one legal brothel in Nevada is trying to add men to its menu of services. Business is down at the Shady Lady Ranch, where... Why would you go to Shady Lady Ranch for a dude?
I don't.
Might want to change the name. A business is down at the Shady Lady Ranch, where owner Bobby Davis hopes to start hiring male prostitutes to add to the lineup at the small roadside brothel to try to lure new female customers. We've had requests for men in the past, and there's nothing else like this out there. Yeah, because dudes can't put in a full day work at that. I mean, unless you're like me. Indeed, the 25 legal brothels scattered throughout 10 rural Nevada counties are staffed by women and cater to men. Yeah, because women can get fucked whenever they want to. This is retarded. This is just bad business. The market of dick is flooded. It's everywhere. You can walk into any store and get some. At least for now, Davis plans to keep her current prices for services: $500 for 2 hours, $800 for 3. Well, 3 is definitely, that's a bargain there. That may change. We're figuring that women may want a longer period of time, maybe a little more romance. They're not quite like men in that respect. Oh, God. So they're not even just like regular whores. They're going to have to like wine and dine these bitches. I feel like that's cheating.
Okay, I've got the absinthe ad ready here. I want to make sure I do this right because this is Jonathan's big moment, so to speak. So, are you ready? Oh, did you guys silence yourselves?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were just saying that as a precursor to going on.
No,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm ready.
I had to get a drink too to make sure my whistle.
Aye, Captain.
All right, here we go. Now you can partake of the verdant taboo of the tinting tonic of timeless titillation. Wormwood Gray is the emerald elixir of otherworldly delights. An absinthe as smooth as the life that awaits you as your perspective pivots towards the green. Wormwood Gray. It's always greener with Gray.
Nicely done. Well done.
Sir Adamantine, thank you very much. Chatelet is interfering in my business. I think I need a new commercial, Scribe. Oh, Sir Adamantine's House of Celestial Delights. Celestial Sins, sorry. Okay, I'll have to come up with something new for that one. And thank you, Sanguine. 3 hours isn't a bargain. That third hour is $50 more than the previous 2.
It's another hour, though.
Yeah. But I mean,
3 hours
whatever
of pussy
floats
is
your
a
boat.
bargain. I don't care what the price is. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
This one also comes to us from Jody Vowell. I think I'm saying that right. I hope so. In Texas, even possession of a sex toy is regulated.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
In Texas, there really can be too much of what some people see as a good thing. While every state has odd laws on the books, the Lone Star State has one regulating the possession of a sex toy. Yes, Texas bans the possession of or promoting the use of more than 6 dildos. Oh my God. The law in question appears to be aimed at adult performers, as it spells out its use as play, motion pictures, dance, or other exhibition performed before an audience. The law also labels the sex toys as an obscene device and declares a crime if someone possesses 6 or more obscene devices declares it a crime if somebody possesses 6 or more obscene devices or identical or similar obscene article is presumed to possess them with the intent to promote the same. Whew. The way fucking laws are written. The law, written in 1973 at a time when the U.S. Supreme Court was dealing with obscenity laws and cases from around the country, takes a tough stance on people who have the device. It does make exceptions for people who have the multiples of the device for medical or law enforcement purposes. Yeah, is Pat in the chat? Because I need help with this. What the fuck is going on in Texas where dildos are part of law enforcement? I need that explained to me.
Are they non-lethal forms of bringing somebody down like a taser?
Maybe, yeah. Just
it's like
get that numb.
Freeze, or I'll cornhole you.
But there's no exemption for the enthusiastic collector or a group like Cox Not Glocks, which staged an anti-campus carry law rally last year, which means you can legally own more guns than sex toys in the Lone Star State. No one was prosecuted after the rally for handing out the dildos, and a federal appeals court overturned the statute about a decade ago. But thus far, during the ongoing legislative session in Austin, lawmakers have paid scant attention to taking it off the books, which may not be a bad thing, as Texas has bigger problems than people having sex toys. Yeah, apparently law enforcement use them for some reason.
I mean, is it actually being enforced? Because if it's not being enforced, then who cares?
No, they said that it was struck down by a court. It just hasn't been taken off the books yet. It's fucking retarded. Oh my God. Oh, and I'm back into yesterday. Let me go back up.
Well, we are at 9:45.
It's true.
Oh, do we want to move on to YouTube or do we want to try one more?
I think so.
All right, we'll move on to
it's not my channel.
Well, it's Scribble's channel. What do you want me to do?
What do I want you to do? Oh man, is that an open question? No, it's YouTube time. Okay. I'll go first since I have very little to report right now.
Before you do that, guys, thank you so much for always sending us these stories. I know we don't always get to them, but it really is great, and it does help us out a lot. Thank you so much.
Yes. And also, Sanguine says, thank you, Sanguine. 3 words, cavity search probes. Yeah, I suppose if they look like the sandworms from Dune, and they got like little grabby ends.
Well, if you shove something in there and it hits something, you know, You got to reach up in there and grab it out.
Hey, Amanda Wolfchild's in the chat. Hi, Amanda. Amada. I haven't seen him. Hey, you don't have a wrench. You should totally have a wrench in my world. There you go, Amada. Yeah, so YouTube real quick. I'll get my stuff done so you guys can talk and I can still work on a couple ads I still have to do. So I'm still working on my next curriculum of fear, but I did write a script today, although I'm not sure if I'm going to make the video. And I wanted to, this might end up being slightly a deep topic for a moment on YouTube stuff, but I just wanted to ask your guys' opinion. So I came across one of the first new videos, as far as I can tell, posted by my new friend Splinter, formerly Fusion.
And the Foot Clan.
Yeah, and then the Foot Clan, yes. And it concerns, they profile and interview several individuals who have been deported. And they tell their requisite, stories of woe as to how this happened to them. I wrote a script because, the excuses and the victimhood and all this other stuff, as always, annoyed me. But at the same time, I just did a video on that same subject, and there's nothing I can really say about these little vignettes that I haven't already essentially said in my other previous Expatriate Games videos. Am I just repetitive and should just avoid doing this kind of topic for a while? Is it just sort of superfluous at this point, do you think?
I don't think so. But I'm the guy who said we shouldn't stop doing SJW videos when everybody else said we should, because I think if it's an important topic, it remains an important topic until it stops being one.
I guess I'm just thinking in quick succession in such short time since the last one. I mean, it's not that I would never do another video on the subject again, but it's just sort of like, just because I come across a video on the subject and I have something to say that may be relevant, but is essentially duplicative of something I just did like a week ago or within 3 other videos.
Well, what you could do in that case is just schedule it for like a week from now.
Well, that's also true. That is a true thing. I'd also like feedback from chat too, because you're my viewers as much as anybody else. Do you think I dwell too much on one thing or the other, or should I space it out a bit? Just a thought I had. I wasn't really sure. So I've got a script. I could do it relatively quickly. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. And yep, that's all my stuff until we get to YouTube drama, because I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Who's next? You get a pick.
SDA.
So I didn't do anything today on my channel. But I am going to be on the Biggest Mikey podcast tomorrow.
I was going to say, but you beat me to the punch.
Yeah. Thanks for writing it down anyway, though. And I've got my Patreon stream hangout on Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on my second channel. And Bay and I are working really hard on getting Baywatch set up. So that will be ready Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We will be on my channel. There will be a trailer for it. But again, if you missed the announcement, Bay and I are going to do a show every Saturday at 7 p.m. called Baywatch. And we're going to start it on my channel, but we're going to go back and forth like we rotate here. And we're going to archive all the videos or all the streams on the Baywatch channel until we get to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll start just streaming from there. So yeah, something to look forward to. Oh, and we're doing a book club stream tomorrow morning. So lots of streaming.
Is that all you got?
Yeah. Check the stream chat.
Oh, I'm watching. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute.
No. Check the inside stream chat.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing I don't even know what that means, but monkey.
Well, okay. Yeah. Last night we talked about the not all people who have periods are women on the stream, and that article so pissed me off. I made a video about it, and that was my video.
I cameoed.
Who?
I cameoed.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
The part where they actually show the picture of the bitch free bleeding, I asked SDA if she would do one of her ew gross for me, and she did. She was nice enough to do that, and then I put my face over it because nobody wants to see somebody
I'm like
bleeding all over
so
the
glad
bench.
that you did that, because when I was watching the video, I was like, is he really going to leave that up? And then you put your face over it, and I was like, huh, okay.
And even though Scribe read the poem last night, reading it myself, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
When she said Trina, I just no,
Yeah.
just fuck no. And that was the dramatics of that fucking poem about her body's a corpse now. No, it's not. It's not. A child dying. No. There's no death. And she's upset because people are telling her she's becoming a woman, and she wears a binder because yeah, it's just really, really stupid shit, and I enjoyed laughing at it. And in that, I did something I don't normally do. I put up a mostly unedited version of me reading that poem. Normally, I would take out, because I do that anytime I'm reading an article. Often when I'm watching a video, I will sit here and I can't help myself. When I see stupid, I have to say it out loud, which actually makes Lady Monkey not want to watch TV with me sometimes. Because
That's
I
what
can't
I
help
do
but
too when
comment.
I'm watching something. I'm like, what? Really?
Yeah.
Why?
And then later in the day, Bering did a video on the same subject, and he's talking about how he didn't want to have to read a poem about a period. And then he saw my video, and instead of reading the poem himself, he used me reading it, which was really cool. I love Bering. Bering's great. Thanks for the shout out, dude. But yeah, that's what I did.
I got an ad real quick.
Cool.
Sir, this is for Sir Adamantine. Hope you enjoy it. It's Ladies' Night at Sir Adamantine's House of Celestial Sins. To all of you fabulous females, come soon and come often for long dongs that are so wrong. See our bevy of oiled Lotharios as they twist and grind their way into your hearts, as well as into other places. Sir Adamantine's House of Celestial Sins, as seen on Moon Poon.
Nice. Yeah, and crazy opinion, hashtag stop spreading stupid. I do have a stop spreading stupid t-shirt. It's a saying I say a lot. And people seem to like it, and they asked me last time I used it to throw it on. So if anybody is interested, you can check that out. Now, there's an elephant in the room. We're not going to talk about specifics, but because of these Sargon videos we made, there have been several people who have made response videos to us. Chances are we have seen them. We don't really want to go into it because we've been talking way too much about fucking Sargon. So as far as I'm concerned, my statements are out there. My opinion's out there on that. I think SDA feels pretty much the same way.
I mean, just to clarify, I think it is a free speech issue. And here's the thing. I mean, obviously, Charming Man made a video, and I guess some other people who I have no idea who they are made a video. I haven't seen the other ones. But and just to clarify, I think it is a free speech issue.
It is.
I get that Twitter is a private platform, but when you stand for free speech, you stand for those values and you operate via those values, whether or not you are on a private platform.
Well, like I said in the comments to yours, and sorry guys, I know I said we weren't going to do this, but let's do this a little bit. Somebody said, you're not getting it, the TOS. And I told him, like, it's amazing. I go by that. I had to sign into that same TOS, and I've never had to fucking report anybody. I hope they study me after I die so they can figure out how I got around this horrible TOS.
Yeah,
we get
I mean,
the fucking TOS. We do. It has nothing to do with that.
Well, I even said in my video, I didn't really want to get into this, but it is what it is. Because I said in my video that I get it. She broke the TOS. I got it. But I don't want to say that I don't care that she broke the TOS, but I don't care that she broke the TOS. It means nothing to me that she broke the TOS. I mean, and then Charming Man says at the end of the video something about Tim and his Twitter account, because Tim's Twitter just got deleted I think a while ago. And Charming Man insinuated in the video that everybody should go flag Tim's new Twitter account, even though he got his old one deleted for no good reason. And I really oppose this behavior coming from, I don't want to say our side because I oppose it coming from anybody. I oppose it when it comes from people like Francesca Ramsey lobbying to get Sargon's Patreon taken away. I oppose it when it comes to Charming Man encouraging people to go flag Tim's Twitter account for no good reason. This is not the way that I think that we should interact with each other online. And this is not a partisan thing. This goes for everybody. I don't think that SJW should do it. I don't think that Charming Man or Sargon should do it. You know, if you don't like what somebody's saying to you online, block them. Blocking somebody who is genuinely being an issue for you is not creating an echo chamber. You're not shutting out, like all ideas. You're shutting out one person. Like, it's okay to block somebody if they're being petulant. That's okay. But to try to take away her platform, because here's the thing, Sargon could not have known that they were only going to ban her for 12 hours. They could very well have banned her forever.
Frankly, what she said was far worse than what I got my 7-day ban for. So, yeah, you can't just say he knew it was going to be 12 hours. Yeah,
he didn't. It's not like you report it and then you're like, I request a 12-hour ban, please. Or like, that's not how that works.
I really didn't mean to get you into that because I know you didn't really want to talk about it. I was just going to be very vague there. But it does lead into today's drama. For those of you who weren't paying attention to Twitter, Kraut reported rage to her employer, Rage After Storm, and she ended up getting fired from, I don't even know what the place was. I think it's some online political.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Newspaper kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm just like, here's the thing. I think what Rage said in her video was wrong, and I think that it was racist.
Absolutely.
And which is why I made a video about it. Like debating the ideas.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why are we reporting people? Why are we not we, but why are people reporting people? Why are people false flagging people? Why are people, contacting employers and being like, hey, this person, what are you doing? I get that she's racist. Are you against that? SJWs are racist a lot of the times too. Like, arguing against a racist should be the easiest thing you ever do.
Yes.
There is no good reason to do that. Because here's the thing. What if you argue, and I don't know, maybe you're a little snarky, maybe you're pleasant, whatever, but she hears it and she changes her mind. That could happen, which would be cool. She didn't get arrested, by the way.
No, she didn't get arrested. Yeah, she just lost this job that she had. And I think her views are shit. When we talked about it on the stream, I kind of went off one of my rants, because the whole race realism thing to me is nothing but racism. It's a way to go, haha, blacks are dumb.
Yeah, and feel intellectual about it. But that doesn't mean that we like shut her down or that you should shut her down. I want to stop saying we, that somebody should shut her down or get her, to lose her job or something like that. That's wrong. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong when SJWs do it. I think it's wrong when Kraut does it. I mean, these are values that I hold consistently. And another thing about this is that I said in my video that feeding Christiosity a taste of her own medicine, that was debatable. And I didn't expand on it, and I should have. But I kind of thought I didn't need to because Monkey talked about it a lot. Yeah. And the point of my video was a little bit different than the point of yours. Mm-hmm. But, like what Tim was saying to me today, he's never blocked or doxed reported or doxed somebody, but he's being judged in with this group of people as though everything that they do is something that he's done. Sorry.
No, you're good. Lenny Stanfield, thank you so much. We need to learn how to disagree with each other instead of all of this tattletale bullshit.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you. Exactly. And I don't have a problem with her employer looking at her tweets and firing her for that, because, or her tweets and what she said in her videos, because yeah, it was fucking racist. However, if they had found it on their own, I would have no problem. Him turning her in for it, because why? What was the point of that? It's not like she had obviously they hadn't found it. She had those two worlds separate. I have a problem with attacking somebody for their ideology instead of attacking their fucking ideology.
So I have a late breaking development in this story.
Sure.
Thank you, Shady Grin. He has tweeted me a couple of tweets that Kraut has sent out in the last couple hours. I will read them verbatim. They come one after the other. One apology is due. One of the emails I tweeted out contained her first name, and I have consequently deleted it. However, the content was relevant. She was not employed. I'm not sure how that makes it better, necessarily, but
I don't understand what she was not employed means.
So he couldn't. Maybe it's like he couldn't get her fired because she wasn't employed. I don't understand. Maybe I don't have enough context for this. I'm reading them as they're written, but I don't know what all that means. If somebody in the chat or otherwise has a better idea.
Well, from what I saw, he was. Gosh, I'd have to go back and look.
Well, before you do that, real quick, let me. I have written. One Ton Hammer's ass as the starring lead in a Shakespearean steampunk rom-com murder mystery set in the past.
Okay.
Here we go. Alas, poor Hammer, thine ass doth rise like the supple morning sun. The boiling steam rises from the engine of deference as the body of her unfortunate suitor cools at the feet of my darling sister. Such loss, such woe, that this listless cad would lose his heart's blood, thus declared to my sinuous sibling, to instead the floorboards. Perhaps this tale is best told as a fortuitous demise. How's that for leveraging my English major, huh?
There you go.
Huh?
Okay, so apparently, so Mining Freedom says she just wrote for the website. She wasn't employed. That's what he means. Here's the thing. I don't care. It's kind of like, but it's the TOS. I don't care. You stand for a value, and you broke that value, even if the consequences aren't as bad as they could have been. You still broke values that you'd claimed to stand for. And I wouldn't have I would have a problem with this just fundamentally, but I wouldn't have as much of an issue with it if you weren't claiming to stand for values of freedom of speech and of discourse.
Yeah.
But like when you say that you do and then you don't, I'm like, what? Why is the world falling apart around me now? But whatever. I don't know. Maybe I am just some dumb American, okay? But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Sorry. That like got me so ranty, but like there are better ways to deal with people who are being annoying, and there are better ways.
I want to address something in chat if I could here.
Okay, real quick. Sorry.
Ryalu, the panda, said they were getting ready to leave, and I pointed out that this is YouTube time, and that includes YouTube drama, and they said, it's not so much that. It gets really cancerous after a while, and I'm already frustrated about things related to that. And I understand that, I do. But the reason this is important is if we're going to call it out on the other side, we have to call it out on this side. And yeah, I know people don't like my community and side versus side, but we know what we're talking about when we say that. If somebody did this to Kraut, I would be out there yelling, no, this is fucking bullshit. It shouldn't happen. When Bering lost his channel over them going to the copyright holder of the Total Drama Island Bear, I was the one going, this is fucking bullshit. While a whole bunch of people were, well, he deserved it because my point there was it was a dirty fucking move. And I don't want to see people that are arguing what I'm arguing pulling this shit. And if I see him doing it, I'm going to call him out on it.
Mara Jane brought up something. Kraut didn't actually know she wasn't literally employed by them until they contacted him after the tweet.
Right. He was trying to get her fired.
Kind of just how Sargon could not have known that she would only get banned for 12 hours.
Real quick.
Could have gone any which way. Sorry. Hi, Sweeper Steven.
Yeah, thank you, Sweeper Steven. All this shit is bullshit. People need to grow up, and you guys pick. Well, lucky for you, I already had the random generator out, so I got something for you, so I'll work on it.
I feel like we need a noise for the random generator.
Beep, boop, bop, boop, beep, boop, beep.
Hey, there you go. That's actually awesome.
Beep, boop, bop, boop, beep, boop, beep. That's actually the noise from 1-800-COLLECT or whatever. Remember that Dennis Miller used to do the ads for? And like, I believe it was David Spade who made that noise. He just said beep, boop, bop, boop, beep, boop, beep.
And another argument I saw on Charming Man's video, like I said, I didn't really want to talk about this, but whatever, here we are. I'm going to bitch about it anyway. Not bitch about it, but I'm just going to talk about it. An argument was, you don't hold them to your standards of morality. You hold them to theirs, so stick it to them. I'm sorry, my sense of morality is not as flexible. Okay? I really think that the TOS on Twitter is bullshit. And I think that the block button is a thing. And literally half the stuff that Charming Man was saying where he was like, you know, they were being incessant. They were just like constantly coming at him. Like, you know what? Even better than the fucking mute button. Then you don't even have to block. And you can see them if you want, and they won't even know that they're muted because they're muted. Fuck.
Anyhow, One Ton Hammer says that's the sound from the game show Whammy.
There is that too.
Game show called Pressure Luck.
Yeah, Pressure Luck, and there was.
Yes, I love
it's
that
not.
Show.
It is a similar sound, but it is not the sound.
Did you ever see the guy who beat that show?
Oh, did you see? I saw the documentary explaining how he did it and the whole 9 yards.
Yes, that was fucking awesome.
It was amazing. And like, well, he didn't actually break any rules. He just memorized the pattern, which isn't against the rules, which was hilarious. And especially since like this ice cream truck driver beat the system and won a bunch of money, and then of course he lost it all literally.
Well, yeah. Do you have the ad ready for the random generated one, or
I do. I do. 1 second here.
Somebody asked in the chat because I said that I literally made this video to get on the bandwagon for attention. I joked about it. Yeah. I mean, like, obviously it got me attention, but I think you can tell by the cadence and tone of my voice and complex social cues that I do actually care about what I'm talking about.
This is the most worked up I've ever seen you over an issue.
Well, yeah, well, unless it's like dead babies from the UK.
Yeah.
That gets me a little more heated. So I know, I get it. I made a joke. And honestly, if I care about it and it's a good bandwagon to jump on, I YouTube for a living. Of course I want attention. Don't ever let any YouTuber be like, I don't do it for attention. Shut up. Yes, you do.
I don't, but whatever. Real quick. So here we go, Sweeper. Sweeper Stevens Saint Dymphna Medal. Hold the calming power of the Catholic patron saint of stress, anxiety, and mental health close to your heart, and forever will you live in peace. When you need to be sane, pray to Sweeper Stevens medals. That is the thing that came up on the generator, a patron saint medal of stress, anxiety, and mental health. I don't even know if it's a real thing, but that's the product. Saint Dymphna, Dymphna. If anybody who's Catholic or otherwise in the chat knows better, by all means, let me know if that's actually a real thing, because I'm now curious if there's actually a patron saint of mental health and stress. And I am working on the Iron Age spy movie deal. But unless we have any more YouTube drama.
I'm done with it.
SDA?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so now it is time for Deep Topic which will be provided to us tonight by Monkey.
This is actually something that was brought up yesterday, and it annoyed me that it was brought up because I had thought of this topic and I was going to use it, and then somebody asked. I'm like, damn it, but I still want to use it anyway. I wanted to talk about times in your life where you learned a really valuable life lesson, something that not necessarily, you know, touching a stove is hot, which is an example, but like the example I gave you guys, when I was 5 or so, I was at a playground, and it was this really great playground, and there were like 8 or 12 different ladders that you had to climb up to get into it. And I was playing with this little girl, and we both got onto a ladder, and I said to her, "I'll beat you up." And she got very upset, and I didn't understand why. And I said it again. I said, "No, I'll beat you up." And she started crying and said she was going to tell her mom. And I didn't understand until a few minutes later what I had said to this poor girl. She thought I was threatening to physically assault her when I actually meant I would race her up the ladder. And at 5 years old, I got this wonderful lesson of making sure you said what you actually mean. And I was just wondering if you guys had any examples of stuff like that in your life that don't necessarily have to be depressing, SDA.
I have one. It's a little
Real
long.
quick.
Oh, sorry.
I said that not because she's a depressing person, but because before the stream we were joking about that, and she said that this was a depressing topic, which I don't think it is.
Well, I don't want to say that the story I have is depressing. Well, first off, SDA, do you have something off the top of your head? Because this story is a little lengthy, and I don't want to like take up time if you've got something relatively short to say.
Well, this one time I dated a lesbian and I learned not to trust lesbians. That's kind of important.
Well played.
Continue.
Okay. So when I was around, I want to say I was like 9 or 10, my grandfather passed away, my father's father. And my grandfather was a very complicated guy, but he was a very strong guy. He was rough and tumble. He always reminded me of the lion from Wizard of Oz. He had that look. He had that sort of attitude, you know, with the jowls and all that fun stuff. And I didn't see him in the year before he passed away. The only time I ever saw him was in a Polaroid photo that my dad had taken, because my dad had traveled down there to see to his last, you know, arrangements or whatever. And the photograph was of this thing in a hospital bed that did not look like my grandfather. You know, he had lost lots of weight. He had tubes going in and out of him. He practically didn't even look human. And that was the last image I have in my head of my grandfather. And my father never betrayed a single emotion about it. About 6 months later, my father and I went up to at the time we had this cabin next to a river. And we went up there, and a flood had just receded from the area, and we went up there to sort of check out the damage. And the cabin sat on a hill, and the hill went down, and then it rose again to go off towards the river's edge. And so there was this little divot in the way the land worked. And we got up there, we started walking towards the hillside, and I saw down in the divot there was things that hadn't been there before, like logs and stuff that the flood had left behind. But there's also all these like little half moon white things, and I didn't know what the hell they were. But there was a really bad smell coming off from over there. As we got closer, we saw it was a bunch of fish. The river had receded and left a bunch of fish in the trough, and it was like all these, you know, dead fish and everything. And so we continued onward, and we had our BB guns with us because we always went up to our cabin to shoot slugs. It was sort of like our bonding thing. We'd shoot slugs with BB guns, and we just had them with us just sort of as tradition. And so we get down to the river's edge. We're just kind of walking along, looking at how the landscape has been changed by the flood. And we come to this one point where some sticks and logs and things had sort of created this little pool that was just had a little bit of water in it. And lying on its side inside this little pool was like a salmon. And one side was up, you know, towards the air and was all kind of dried out. And the other side was in the water. And it was still alive. And we just kind of stopped. And I didn't know what to do. And before I could say anything, And I remember I was like 10 years old. My dad, he pulls up his BB gun and he just starts shooting the thing. And not shooting it like for entertainment value, but to sort of like, end it for it.
Mhm.
But the thing was, the skin had dried on that side, so it was kind of rubberized, and the BBs just kind of bounced off. But at one point, after 3 or 4 shots, he finally hit the right spot or something, and the fish just stopped, and it was obviously dead. And my father turns around, starts walking back up the riverbank before I can sort of say anything. And I was just sort of like, transfixed by just what happened. And I'm walking behind him, and I start to hear him cry. And it's the first time I had ever heard my father cry. And it was really quiet. And as I looked back on that event with, sort of adult eyes, so to speak,
Mhm.
And I might be filling in the blanks that don't exist, but it just seems it did mean something to me. That fish, in a way, represented my grandfather. This strong, willful person who had been just struck down into a helpless creature, and the plug just had to be pulled. And I don't know for a fact if my father was thinking about his father at that moment or anything else, but that's what it meant to me. And I don't know what to take away from that so much, as I felt like I understood my father a little bit more, and my grandfather's death actually became more tangible to me, even though I hadn't been there for it, even though I was too young to sort of understand, father-son relationships the way I do now.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was a very significant moment in my life.
I've got a couple.
Okay.
So one day, my dad and I were driving. There's actually a couple involving driving, and he had me just watch this car that was like speeding around us and like weaving in and out of lanes, and he had me track it, and we kept tracking it, and it kept getting stuck at every red light that we got stuck at. So I learned, just chill the fuck out, because you're both going to end up at the same red light. Don't be an idiot.
That's a good one. One I have learned to. Yes, absolutely. That's a really good one. Yeah.
He also taught me that if you're in the center lane about to turn left, don't ever turn your wheels. And this has stuck with me since I was like 5. Because if you turn your wheels, if somebody hits you from behind, you turn into oncoming traffic. Whereas if your wheels aren't turned, you just go straight, which is good. Another thing was that I built a house in Minecraft. I showed it to my dad, and he was like, I don't like it because it's built lower than the surrounding area. So I also learned to always build a house on a hill. Very practical life lessons, in my opinion.
They are.
Provided by dad.
That's what dads are good for.
Yep.
That and horrible jokes. Another one that I learned around the time I was 5. I think I've told this story before, when I hit the girl with the shovel. For those of you who hadn't heard it, we were playing on my back porch. My younger brother and there was a couple from church over, and they had their kids. One was a boy, one was a girl. My little brother and the boy were both riding big wheels. The girl was on a tricycle, and they were all riding in a circle around me. And for some reason, I had a shovel, not a kid's shovel, an actual shovel, like you're going to go dig up your yard or something. And I yelled, "Stop." And they all stopped. And I said, the first one that moves gets hit with a shovel. And the little girl was right in front of me, and I could see that there was a little sparkle in her eye, and she smiled a little bit, and she started pedaling. And I whacked the shit out of her. And, yeah, knocked her right off the tricycle. She started screaming, and I ended up in trouble. And I was very stubborn. And I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. And my mom was like, you hit her with a shovel. Yes, you did. I was like, but I told them, whoever moved first, they're getting hit. So she shouldn't have moved. I told her the rules. Now, at the time, it didn't sink into my brain that that's a fucking horrible game. It actually took me a year or two to understand what I had done wrong there and where I made my mistake. But as somebody who's always thought on it, I was sitting on a swing one day, maybe a year later, when it finally clicked in my head, like, Oh, that was a fucked up game I shouldn't have been playing. That was some Jigsaw level shit for 5-year-olds.
Yeah, like it's only fun if everybody agrees to the rules, Monkey.
Exactly, yes.
As a kid, like as a little kid, I used to put children in timeout, like in daycare. Like if they just irritated me, I was just like, you're going in timeout. And I had to be told like constantly in nurseries, like in nursery school, to not put kids in timeout. And I was like, but they're awful. They deserve timeout, obviously.
Monkey and a Shovel, story of our pre-wedding ceremony. From Lady Monkey.
Was it Lady Monkey that you beat?
No, it was not. No. We met many, many years later. Uzi Q says, Ranting Monkey, you were evil from the start. I never thought I was evil. I wasn't. I just had a weird sense of morality. And that's what I learned about that whole system. You can have really fucked up morality and think you're right and be incredibly wrong. Yeah, you shouldn't hit somebody with a shovel either.
It hurts.
What else do we have here? I'm trying to think of more examples because this is actually something I sit around and think about a lot, about where I've learned lessons in life. I also told the story about how I ended up meeting Lady Monkey. That was a big revelation for me, how such one tiny little moment can change everything in life. One minor decision that doesn't mean, in your mind at the time, doesn't mean anything. But I walked into my 10th grade biology class, and if I hadn't have sat where I did, my entire life would be different right now.
Yep.
Because I sat at a table because I kind of knew somebody that was at that table. There was a girl who was sitting there that I ended up dating who introduced me to my wife. So if I had sat anywhere else in that room that day, life is entirely different. And that is such a fucking amazing thing to me. And it's not the kind of thing you can plan for, but it is the kind of thing that once you notice the ball's rolling, jump on it and have fun. To Jack Cochran, you sit around thinking about hitting girls with shovels. That's fucked up. No, I don't sit around thinking about that. I think about how I've gotten to where I am, how my morality is where it is, and just how I became who I am now. I mean, this is going to sound sad, but I was a very shy kid until I was about 14. If you knew me at home, I was not shy, but at school, I was the perfect student. I never misbehaved. My grades were perfect. But then mom died, and then my older brother died. And I got into high school and I'm like, you know what? I do not want to live the rest of my life being shy. I don't enjoy this. I feel anxious. It's like, fuck it. I'm just going to start talking to people, being me all the time. And if my mom and brother hadn't died, that never would have happened. And I learned in that moment from that, confidence is about faking it till you make it. Because I was not confident when I first started doing it. But about a year, by a year later, I was the most cocky little shit bless you, babe. I was the most cocky little shit you ever met. And you can ask Lady Monkey about this. Walked around like I owned the damn place. And let me tell you something. There's an old saying that fortune favors the bold, and it's not untrue. Sylvania's Dark Age. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was able to generate an Iron Age spy movie.
Oh,
I don't even know. I don't even know if this is the Iron Age or not, but this is as close as I'm going to get for the amount of research I want to do. Before time began, there was a Cold War raging during the Ice Age. Sanguin, a member of the Gamhain tribe, has infiltrated the rival clan Magoon. Now Sanguin is in the deadly race against prehistoric time to stop the Magoons from completing a new superweapon that will destroy Sanguin's people once and for all. The Wheel. See the heights of Neanderthal espionage in Sanguin, Agent of the Fire Cave.
Nicely done.
Oh, man.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
rival
stories
clan
in chat here, and I'm sorry I can't read them all.
Well, we're at question time now. Let's just open it up to chat question. Unless you guys had more things you wanted to talk about real quick.
No, I'm good.
Okay. SDA?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, chat, it is your time. If you had questions that you asked previously, we weren't paying attention because we're so self-involved. But now it's your time, and we will involve ourselves with you. So be sure to post them in the chat and put plenty of question marks in a nothing for you here style so we know it's a question. Thank you, Red Groovy. Any politics shifters rather than life lessons? Well, I mentioned this last night when Monkey brought it up, but 9/11 didn't really, I guess it didn't shift my politics so much as it was a politics awakening moment. Like I hadn't considered reality sort of outside my local bubble for the most part until after 9/11. So I guess that it is a cliche sort of answer, but it is absolutely true.
I have a politics shifter, and it's something that probably doesn't matter to most people. I voted for George Bush in his first term, and like most politicians, I didn't agree with him on everything, but I thought he was a pretty decent man. I agreed with most of what he said, and he wasn't a pinko fucking liberal. But almost as soon as he got into office, he did something most people didn't pay attention to. He raised the tariff on steel. We'll get to that in just a second.
Thank you, Jesse Jess. My brothers and I were little ninjas. We would turn our backyard into a place full of traps and hidey holes where we would scare people. I learned to do activities together as siblings. Nice.
Yeah.
Even if it is terrifying other people. Did you have an ad or something you wanted me to do, Jesse? Let me know. I'll watch the chat.
So he raised the tariff on steel, and at the time I worked for a machine shop. If you don't know what that is, that's where you take long steel bars and turn them into little tiny widgets or nuts. Or at one point we made a component for an airbag. Well, we had already been using foreign steel, which was already more expensive, but because of the tariffs, we had to switch to U.S. steel. And U.S. steel is shit. It is just garbage. Literally, garbage would come in mixed in with the steel bundles. And the only reason he did it was to appease unions, to appease the steel union, the steel lobby. And that pissed me off so bad because that's not something conservatives are known for. They're not known for sucking up to them. And I was like, they're all the fucking same. And I had this clarifying moment of understanding all the political parties, once they get into power, they're going to do the same shit. So it's a lot of arguing over nothing for the most part.
Something that kind of shifted my perspective was before I met a bunch of people with PhDs, I wanted a PhD. And then I went to college and met a bunch of people with PhDs, and they are the most miserable motherfuckers on the planet. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. So yeah, that changed my perspective a lot. I was like, I don't want a fucking PhD if this is what happens.
Skeptalk asked me what years I was working with U.S. Source Steel. This would be 2001.
A Space Odyssey?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Scribe, why you lying? You do YouTube for attention.
It's not. I do it for catharsis more than anything else. Honestly, I don't mind the feedback and the attention, but honestly, it's just sort of like an outlet for me more than anything else.
Now I have that song "Why You Lying" stuck in my head.
I don't even know what this product is, but just the name of it is. I got to know what this is. I can't. That name. What the hell? Oh, it's a clamp? Is that what it is?
Got it.
Got it.
What? Okay, you guys keep going with questions or something. I got to figure out what the hell this thing is.
I'm sorry. I have a brownie bite in my mouth. SDA, will you read questions?
Monkey.
Well, I thought Scribe was going to do something, so I ate one.
No, sorry. I don't want to give it away before I figured out what this product is, because the name alone just sounds dirty, but it's not a dirty thing, I don't think.
Your boy Pat said SDA went, fuck this shit, I'm out. No, it's true. It's true. I'm like, Sinatra says and Tree of Logic have defended Rage's video. I really want to see if they have a point, but no one will debate her. Any chance one of you would?
Backscan, I'm actually still debating whether or not to do a race realism video. And it's not just those two who have done it. No Bullshit, who I actually like a lot. Me and him get along very well. We've worked together before on YouTube. He kind of defended her video. And I have a problem with the defenses of it because it fucking was racism, period. If you think one group is better than another, that's racism. They always point to, well, you know, what about physical things? Nobody ever says that's racist. Yeah, okay, fine. If you were actually, even if I agreed with you on race realism, if you were doing it because you were trying to improve the lives of blacks, I would say, fine, yeah, we can discuss that. But if you're only doing it to disparage blacks so you can prove whites are better and that maybe we should be separate, then you're a fucking asshole.
Amanda Wolfchild said, SDA, here's a question. Who do you love?
Who do you love?
Well, not Scribe right now. That's
She loves Lady Monkey because Lady Monkey was nice to her earlier.
Yeah, I love Lady Monkey. I love Amanda. I love Bae, obviously. Yeah, Jinx is cool too.
Lanny Stanfield, is it Stan? It's Stanfield, right? Yeah. How would you even contact Rage at this point? It's not about contacting Rage. It's about the topic in general. Renting Monkey needs some aloe for that burn. When did I get burned? What did I miss? Oh, what Scribe said a minute ago. Yeah, fuck you. I saw that. What Scribe said, for those of you who are watching this tomorrow, Monkey can eat a brownie bite just fine, but pussy, well, needs practice. Fuck you.
Bloodwing said SDA loves me, usually, sometimes, maybe. Yeah, Bloodwing's cool too.
Bloodwing's a sweetie. Do you love me now that I can dance? Thank you, Terry. Throwback to an old song. When am I doing the Walmart stream? Ask Crazy Opinion. I don't know.
How about 7 next Saturday or whatever, before someone else is streaming for Baywatch?
I don't know. I really want to do that. I actually want to take some time and write down some of the stories. Because on the fly, it's hard to remember some of that stuff. And there were so many great stories from there. I will get it done, and I'll let you guys know when it's coming. Jack Cochran, is it true that Asian steel is slanted?
Oh,
I don't know. We worked with mostly European steel. Crazy Man asked Walmart. Yeah, I used to work at Walmart, and I've told a couple of the stories here. I worked for Walmart for a decade, and there's a lot of good source material in there. And anytime you watch a movie, or they had that TV show, I don't know if it's still around, where they set it in like a Walmart kind of thing, they never get it right. And the reason they don't get it right is because you can't tell the actual stories and have people believe it's true.
Oh, stranger than fiction.
Exactly. Like literally, there was one day, there's a woman standing at the jewelry counter, and nobody's really paying much attention to her. And then she leaves, and there's a turd sitting on the floor. She had just been. This lady literally shit herself in the store, just let it fall out the leg of her pants, and walked away. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that happens at Walmart. You worked at Walmart, small world. Well, considering they're the biggest private employer in the country, man, there's a lot of us out there. The thing is, I actually liked working for Walmart. I love working retail. It's fun. The bad customers, the bad managers, and the bad coworkers can make it seem worse than it is. But for the most part, yeah, I had a lot of fun there. I liked what I was doing. I enjoyed interacting with customers, but fuck, the bad times make it seem really, really bad.
Okay, I got Jesse's ad real quick.
Cool.
Jesse Jess's Sketch and Sniff Scented Pencils. When you need to fill your nose with the sweet, sweet smell of perfumed graphite. Now featuring the new scents of chalk, sadness, and meth. When you want your writing to be led around by the nose, think Jesse Jess.
Well done. Speaking of Jesse Jess just asked, what's the worst thing you fear?
Aneurysm or paralysis. Those are my sort of like base, lizard brain terrors.
The paralysis thing is the reason that I am claustrophobic, and that is my worst is not being able to move.
Yeah.
SDA?
Huh?
She fears wearing underpants.
Yes.
Oh,
Mara
you guys
Jane.
are still on that question? Okay.
No, you can answer. You didn't, so I answered for you.
Yeah,
It's
like
okay.
Candy Crush.
Okay.
What's your worst fear?
Oh, I'm not answering that.
You fucker. You
Oh,
just gave us
okay.
shit.
Sushi.
No, I said you're still on that. Like, it took you that long to answer.
Oh, okay.
Who took forever to answer? Was it you or Scribe?
We both answered pretty quick.
Real quick, Cryptic, thank you. Monkey's Walmart story should be told in a Twilight Zone episodes format. Yeah, I can see you as Rod Serling. Submitted for your consideration. A turd on a floor.
People keep asking me if I'll marry them, and like I'm not on the market.
The commercial
Okay,
City
wow.
Walk versus Cutie Sushi. I don't know what that is.
City Sushi. It should be. I'm almost positive. That's from South Park.
I mean, Shitty Walk.
Shitty Walk. Shitty Walk.
Yeah,
and
Shitty
then
Walk.
Wait, a
Shitty
commercial
Sushi
for
woke
Shitty
up-
Walk versus Shooty Sushi or Cutie Sushi?
It's City Sushi. I'm almost positive.
City
Cryptic,
Sushi.
correct me if I'm wrong there.
Shitty Walk. A commercial for a versus.
Well, you could have
Okay.
City Walk talking shit about City Sushi.
Oh no, I know exactly what I have to do. Okay, Cryptic, I'll get working on that.
Sorry guys, I paused that to read the thing. Scrolling again. Trapped in an elevator with a horny woman dressed as a clown. Come on, you tap that.
Thank you, Krampus from Kansas. Scribe, do you have to use extra tongue butter on your plunger when you are getting moon poon? No commercial needed. No, I don't use tongue butter on my plunger. That would be unsanitary.
That would be unsanitary. Oh.
And thank you for the donation.
Oh, see, we're going to get into some Walmart stories here now. My mother worked at a Dollar General. Someone poked a hole in the paper towel and pissed it full one time. Fuck. You can keep the retail job. I'd rather work as a public rep for Black Hitler. There were so many times people did fucked up stuff in our store. They never did catch the guy, or at least last I knew. Somebody would go through about once a month and literally break every egg in the top section, or of the eggs lining the top.
Why?
He would just walk through and punch them. I don't know. And they would do it every goddamn month. There's just shitty people out there. How do you guys think you would fare if there were a total SHTF scenario where society collapsed? I don't know what SHTF is, but when I was healthy, I would have been fine, but being crippled, I would probably be one of the first ones dead. Nothing for you here. What's better, chocolate or vanilla? Real hard-hitting question here.
Defo chocolate.
Vanilla. Scribbles, do you like chocolate or vanilla?
I'm more of a chocolate.
Oh, I agree with Scribe. Never mind, vanilla.
Yeah, Cryptic said it was City. He's on his phone, and I suck at typing on this shit. It's not your fault. The U and the I are right next to each other. It happens. What is Lady Monkey giggling at? Oh shit!
Okay.
It's the fan. Thank you guys. SHTF.
I'm going to try this. Here comes your ad, Cryptic. Never wage a land war in Asia. In the greatest food fight in recorded history, stir fry meets raw fish in a conflict that will unite a nation and end a dynasty. See Shitty Wok versus Shitty Sushi, Dawn of Rushtush.
Very nice.
Dawn of what?
Justice.
Dawn of Justice, but said with a completely stereotypical Asian bad accent that I can't really do unless I'm really trying. So there you go, Cryptic.
Thank you, Backscan. Apparently she's coming for my nips.
Did we put a bounty out on Monkey's nip? God, can I do that on my stream? Put a bounty out on your nipples? No, I don't think so. We have to do it on Monkey's stream, yeah. Okay.
The Jack Cochran asks, is it true that the electric carts at Walmart have special reinforcements to hold up the super fatties? No, it's not. And here's the thing. These fat fucks will get on these carts that have a weight limit, and the weight limit is listed on them, and drive. They'll get halfway down an aisle and it'll die because they're not made to hold that much weight. And it just drains the fucking battery. And then they will complain that the carts don't work right. No, it's that you need to be on a four-wheeler. You need something that these are meant for old people, infirm people, broken people, not fat fucks who can't walk to the Twinkies. And if you can't walk to the Twinkies, you need to walk to the Twinkies. That's all I'm saying.
Antediluvian 777 says, are you sad that Captain Marvel won't be in Infinity War? So have you guys heard about the plot synopsis of Captain Marvel, the movie?
No.
I have not.
So I think I know what they're going to do, but here it is. It's actually set in the 90s, okay, which makes me think that all this is going to happen out in outer space, at least mostly. And it's also going to be Captain Marvel in some fashion encountering or becoming involved in some aspect of the Kree-Skrull War. Now, this is my theory, and this is the theory of many others too, is that this is setting up a retcon where it turns out that some character that we've been watching in the Marvel Universe to this point has for some time been a Skrull.
What's a Skrull?
So a Skrull is an alien race in the Marvel Universe that are shapeshifters. And they can change into just about anything and anyone almost undetectably. There was a big story arc a few years ago called Secret Invasion in the Marvel Comics, where a whole bunch of Skrulls had infiltrated the Marvel Universe for many years prior to that point. And so we found out that some heroes that we thought were heroes and villains, etc., were actually invisible agents of this alien empire trying to take over. Yeah, so she's not going to be in Infinity War because I guess technically she's off doing something else that'll be set up for later. But I have a feeling we're going to find out like Black Widow has always been a Skrull or something. What do you think of that notion?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's my thought anyway. Scotch, I have never been a movie critic, not professionally anyway. I've always just been critical of movies. So there you go.
Oh, we should go to a movie so me and Scribe can talk about it.
Oh, I still need to find that Walmart 5-pack Tango and Cash deal.
Oh, I bought it. I finally got it.
Yeah. I gotta either order it or I gotta buy it. Gross Goose, thank you. Have you guys ever heard your parents making sweet love?
Ew!
I heard my parents last night and it was fucking juicy.
Ew. Okay, I'm gonna answer Andrew Vulcan's question instead.
No, in fact,
Nice.
I never have.
Favorite FNAF animatronic? I like Bonnie.
FNAF? What's FNAF?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh God.
I have walked in on my parents doing it. It didn't. I don't care.
Yeah, I never did. Thankfully.
I don't want to think about it, but
yeah.
Your parents fucked, guys. Just letting you know that.
Nothing for you here. Where did math come from? Reality.
Yeah.
Scribelight, have you seen the Action Comics Spider-Woman? Like Action Comics, the DC kind, or like Spider-Woman's own comic? Because I've got a whole bunch of collections and such of like the new Avengers where Spider-Woman was relatively central. And of course, before we find out that she's actually the Queen of the Skrulls. Spoiler alert. But
somebody asked me if I ever had to clean shit out of a urinal. No. And let me tell you, this is somebody who works at Walmart. Women are way more disgusting than we are. Women's bathrooms get fucking gross.
No kidding.
Bum, Bullshit math is a creation of man. Math, the way we understand it might be a creation of man, but it's universal. It is the one universal truth.
Mm-hmm.
2 + 2 will always be 4, no matter what you call it or what you say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, monkey hit a little girl with a
humans have
shovel.
conceptualized into something we can understand, but it is a part of the fundamental nature of reality.
Yeah, if we ever actually make contact with an advanced alien race, the way we're most likely going to be able to communicate with them is through math first.
Yeah.
Where was that at? Monkey hit a little girl with a shovel. Walking in on his parents having sex is the least disturbing thing he's seen. Oh God. Crazy Opinion says, when I worked at Walmart, there was a customer midget that was a regular and is still a regular customer. I would love to work there. Our regular customer, we had a couple of them, but my favorite was the one they called China Doll.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've told you about her before. She used to wear like the most skimpy fucking outfits and no panties. And then she would like purposefully drop stuff and bend over and pick it up. She was actually kicked out of the store for a while for not wearing panties. And some like kids or something saw it.
Was she worth looking at all?
She was a butterface.
Okay. Lady Monkey says, Lords of the Night, banana split or hot fudge sundae? Well, granted, that's not some euphemism for something disgusting. Hot fudge sundae.
Banana split.
I just want like plain coffee ice cream.
Good night, Lanny.
The best part about China Doll is that when she would come in with her husband, she was the most conservative. She was your typical Chinese, walks behind her husband, doesn't talk very well, or dressed up perfectly. When she came in on her own, though, she was trolling for dick.
Crazy Opinion asks, Scribe Light, why do you hate dyslexics? Because spell they can't.
Oh. We need more questions, guys, or something to make us talk.
Donald the Repentless, how can the two symbol be universal? No, the two symbol isn't universal. The concept of two is universal. Yes. The Nuggets, fuck you, Scribe Light. Hey, he asked a question. I answered.
Have you ever had a female manager hit on you at Walmart? I've had, of course.
Oh, well.
I'm fucking beautiful.
Let's see.
Crazy Opinion, you're so right about Walmart bathrooms, but I had to clean shit out of one once and I wasn't happy about it. I wouldn't imagine you would be. That would actually be kind of weird if you walked in. Great, there's shit in the urinal. I got to clean that out.
Crazy Opinion asks, Scribe Light, why do you hate dyslexics? Because they have horrible memories.
Yeah. Good night, Sylvanas.
Yeah, bye, Sylvanas.
Would you suggest pissing off the gods for the supreme power of all creation? If it's an option, go for it. Favorite black and white film? Ooh, Casablanca.
Oh gosh, probably The Third Man. Well, Third Man or Touch of Evil. Those are two really good movies. Of course, they're both Orson Welles noir flicks, but Third Man is probably, Third Man.
Did you see the story Phil DeFranco did about the girl that killed her sister during a live stream? Yeah, I did. That was fucking horrible.
Yeah, I actually saw the video before I knew what it was about. Oh. One of those situations where it's like, crash caught on film or something, and I was like, oh, okay, what's this? I thought it was going to be like dash cam footage from Russia again because I see that shit all the time. No, It wasn't that, and I was like, oh shit. Lucky Pop-Tart. I don't look. Just in case anybody misunderstands, I was joking about the dyslexic thing. I don't hate dyslexics.
That's not what he says when we're off stream.
Oh God, Monkey, you narc. Do you remember Narc, the arcade game?
Oh yeah.
I thought that was awesome. I just thought Narc was cool. Antediluvian 777. What is our favorite found footage horror film?
I'm not a big fan of those.
I
They're usually cheesy to me.
So I have to go back to like the basics. You're either talking Cannibal Holocaust, because that was like one of the first ever sort of found footage films, or The Last Broadcast. Now, The Last Broadcast is relatively unknown. It is a contemporary to Blair Witch. There's some debate over whether or not one influenced the other, or I think Last Broadcast actually came out before it. It's much lower production budget. But I like The Last Broadcast quite a bit. If you haven't seen it, I don't know how difficult it is to find, but if you can find it, give it a watch. The ending is a little but everything leading up to that, I was impressed by.
They're talking about Blair Witch. My problem with Blair Witch, I didn't think it was a horrible movie. I just didn't. It wasn't that interesting to me. One, the dialogue was shit. But so many people told me you got to pay attention or you won't understand the ending, and I'm like, how did you need to remember that? It's not that long of a film, and it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Not a horrible movie though. It's just not my thing.
Backscan says, Scribe, do you think the girl is more to blame or the parents? I'm assuming you're talking about the car crash thing. The girl. She was behind the wheel. She had a license. She was responsible. Shady Grin, thank you. Scribe, I want you to do a trailer for a movie using the movie guy voice based on the furry Nazi article I sent you. The furry Nazi? You might have to
send that to him again.
Yeah, you might have to resend that to me, and I might have to work on that for tomorrow night, because I don't know what it is off the top of my head. The movie guy voice, okay. That was one of two, so you're gonna have to give me the next. I'll watch for the next bit.
Crazy opinion. I never saw the Blair Witch Project. I feel like SDA now. Yeah, y'all need to watch more TV. Y'all need to stay home and watch more TV. Damn it.
Oh, Mara says she likes Quarantine. Yeah, Quarantine actually wasn't that bad, all things considered. All the sequels were a waste of space, but the first one was all right. Skeptalk. So Scribe Light, why are you Scribe Light? What does light symbolize? The name of the brand of CD drive in my old computer was Light Scribe, so I just flipped the words. If I want to inject any meaning into it, I would be artificially injecting it. The scribe thing kind of made sense because I like to write. I'm an English major. I try to have fun with words and that kind of thing. Light? I don't know. I shine a light into the darkness. I don't know. You can make up whatever.
You shine a light into the lords of the night.
Dun dun dun. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can make up whatever deep meaning you want for the light part of it. The scribe part was the only one that I kind of like, and if I ever got called on it by there's a company of pen lights called Scribe Light. If they ever came to me and said you need to stop using that, I would just change it to Scribe, because that's basically what people call me anyway. So,
Scotch wants to know if I was ever in a chess club. No, I wasn't. I like to play chess, but I don't hang out with nerds.
Hey, Shady,
I have nothing against.
Shady Grin, in case I miss you over the course of the chat here, send me a tweet with the link to the story, and I'll and send me a little synopsis of what you need again, and I'll work on it between now and tomorrow night, because we're running out of time and I don't want to try to rush it. Let's see. Sure thing, Skeptalk. The scribes were done constantly.
Let's see. Sorry, I was typing bad shit. Some dumb American. Why are you so quiet?
Oh, sorry.
She's doing something.
Yeah, she's concentrating. Have any of you ever committed a crime?
No. Officially, no.
Yeah.
Only crimes of the heart.
Crimes of passion.
Gross.
No, when I was 6 or 7, I did shoplift some Jolly Ranchers from a convenience store. I had a handful of Jolly Ranchers, and I sort of absentmindedly put them in my pocket, and I was going to take them up to the counter, but I suddenly realized I had them in my pocket, and I just walked out the store. I confess. About 75 cents worth of Jolly Ranchers. Shady Grin. Okay, thank you very again. When I read it, I thought it would make a great and amusing thriller. SDA and Ranting Monkey could do extra voices. I cannot listen tomorrow, work, but I have Thursday off. I'll resend you the link. Oh, okay. Well, if I've got that much time until Thursday, then I could write up a script and the three of us could read it.
Could read what? What are you signing me up for?
For reading an ad.
Yeah, reading part of an ad. I'd give you like a line to read, and we could read it out loud on the stream Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Because Shady has decidedly earned a more in-depth ad for his donations. So yeah, just send me the article again on Twitter. I'll work on something, and I won't make it too much heavy lifting for either of you. It'll be like one line or something. And
I just want to grunt.
Well, everyone wants you to grunt, especially the ladies.
I never committed any crimes. I'm not a criminal. I wanted to answer that question.
Yeah. But if you were, you'd be a smooth criminal.
I've also never seen porn.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Jolly Ranchers is the epitome of my criminal tendencies, I'm afraid.
You're such a rebel.
I know, but man, they tasted even sweeter. Oh, they were so sweet.
Will the SJWs complain that chess pieces are white based on patriarchal colonialism and then insist on the queen being transgender? You know what? If you made that chess set, they would buy it. Are you holding out for a hero till the end of night? Oh my God.
Stacy Gardner, Scribe Light, when I first your name, I thought of beer. I think you've had one too many already.
Indeed.
Just kidding.
Necroman, I once stole a National Geographics. Turns out they were giving them away.
That's hilarious. Scribe, will you do a stream where you narrate radio serials? Probably not, because more like, I mean, if they're radio serials, they're already narrated. I'm confused. I mean, I've got a ton of CDs of old radio shows like, X-1 and Johnny Dollar and all this stuff that my dad sends me from time to time. But yeah, you can find old radio shows on YouTube, I'm pretty sure, for free.
There's Lucky7 says, I stole some gum when I was 6 and my mom made me tell the cashier what I did. My older brother did that. Stole something, it was gum or a little candy, and my mom found out and took him back into the store. And she told so many people, I learned that if you're going to steal, don't get caught, because it must be really embarrassing to have to tell the people.
Yeah, that's a good like Willie Sutton sort of coin of logic. It's like, if you're going to steal, don't get caught.
Exactly.
Skeptalk says, you have an interesting voice, Scribe Light. That's why people want to hear you read on the air. Interesting is one of the more diplomatic words in the English language, right out there with fascinating and outstanding.
Fascinating.
That's a fascinating voice you have. It's non-committal, nice and ambiguous.
What word I always like to use is curious. Spock used to use it all the time. Curious.
Oh, yes. Scribe Light, have you been a homosexual? No. I have not now been, nor have I ever been a homosexual.
Have you been, like, you can go back?
I kissed a guy on a dare once, and that's about as close as I've ever been to having experienced a homosexual act. But it was like a drinking game, so I think it pretty much doesn't count as something where I've changed my orientation.
Do you think we'll have functional medical scanners like Star Trek within the next 10 years? I don't know about 10 years, but I think it's something that they're definitely getting closer to.
We already have a lot of things, a lot of diagnostic sort of, between MRIs and digital scans and things now, and VR too. I mean, they're working on ways to use VR to be able to visualize in real time.
Oh, VR is the worst.
Yeah, well,
makes me want to puke.
If it can help doctors do medicine better, I'm all for it.
Oh no, I agree. I just mean like VR.
Oh yeah.
Like video games, like even the 360 camera stuff that YouTube can do makes me want to.
I like some of the skydiving ones, and the roller coaster ones are cool.
we are less than a minute away from the end of the stream, guys. So I'll just start wrapping up now. Thank you, chat, so much for coming out tonight. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to everyone who put questions up there. Thanks to everyone who put MSS news stories up for us. And our not thanked enough moderators, so much appreciate you keeping an eye on chat and the troublemakers, so to speak, that are out there.
The
Monkey
Magoon Boppers.
Yeah, the Magoon Boppers.
SCA is 50% gay. That's true.
That is true.
If you're a lesbian and you're cute, you know, why not?
Last minute, thank you, Gross Goose. Did you guys hear about the gay security guard who got fired from his job at the sperm bank? He got caught drinking on the job. Oh,
What a way to end.
What a way to end the stream. Well, thank you, Gross Goose. You live up to your name. Monkey, SDA, as always, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tomorrow night we will be on Monkey's channel. Yes, Monkey's channel. So look for that. SDA, you will be on Bigger Mikey's channel tomorrow, right? Correct? Got it.
Biggest Mikey, yeah.
Biggest
and
Mikey.
Then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., Bay and I are we're going to be talking about Silverborn, the 5th book in the Mercy Thompson series.
Ew. And for Thursday night, do you already have a guest lined up, or?
Oh shit! It's my thing to do that.
Well, it's not required. I'm just curious if you have.
See, I thought we were like going to do that as this stuff we should talk about off.
Okay, we'll talk about
it afterwards.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight, and we will see you on Monkey's channel tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye, guys.